Hey,
How you doing, Jen?
I'm doing.
Hey, everybody, here we are.
Welcome to
Friday.
another startling and fascinating edition of For Crying Out Loud.
Yes. Ooh, I love that. I love that little kind of coming in with the bang, 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 bang.
Good.
Fantastic.
So, what are we talking about today, Christine?
We're talking about we've got about people who stayed together as couples for a long time and what that takes. You know how what that looks like, the journey that they have been on or go on, because it's not a straight path, right? Because
No,
you, Jen, have been in a relationship now with Harvey for how long?
21 years,
21 years.
22 in February.
Wow.
We conjoined. It's sort of like that on Valentine's Day. So, and both of us are a little forgetful, so that was handy.
So
But
how did you meet on Valentine's Day? Was it
we
like you
didn't
both
meet on
single?
Valentine's Day. No, we didn't meet.
You
Yes, we did. We did those things.
So
Um,
that's the anniversary of your consummation
of our boinking, it
of
is.
your consummation, not the soup, but the
Yes. So, no, I met him at the Urban Well, and he had just come off a basketball game, a Jewish basketball game, and whatever that means. It was at the JCC, and I was on a date with another, I hesitate to call him man, but yes. He was very short and very drunk, and I don't know what possessed me. But anyway, Harvey sat down at this kind of group table, and I don't know what got my heart aflutter. Maybe it was his eating nachos off Patrice Brett's plate. I'm not sure, or the sweat dripping down his brow, or the fact that he wasn't drunk was a really big, important moment for me because my date definitely was, and my date was hitting on the waitress, and we go through these fast moments where it's like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I with that person? I should
right,
just hang my hat on that person, and I need to be with this guy.
the guy who's sweating and eating other people's food.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
choice. Well,
Good
it's
choice.
lasted.
Good choice. Like, I don't know, scarcity being the mother of invention. But anyway, Harvey could actually talk without slurring, and we had friends in common.
That's
So, and I ran
important.
into him again at his ex-girlfriend's, boy, it's always messy, right? Ex-girlfriend's Valentine's Day party. Yeah.
Oh, and that's when you boinked.
Yeah, it was fast and furious. I mean, well, we were getting on in years. It was, we didn't have time to really
It's
spare.
like, it's like, shh. The ex-girlfriend's in the other room now.
No, no. She was,
Take down your pants.
she was a theater director, and it was this rented space, and there were all kinds of artsy things going on, and people with, toy boats on their heads doing modern dance. And anyway, I had been invited to a rave that night, and
Hmm.
so I asked Harv if he wanted to go, to the rave, and at my friend's warehouse loft. And so we got there, and everyone was really freaking young, and people were looking at us through their sort of, ecstasy imbued eyes. Yeah, like we were clearly people's parents there to pull their kids out of there.
Really?
That was the profile that we hit. So anyway, we went upstairs, and we watched people with their neon soothers and bouncing around, and we decided to go home and do some of our own bouncing.
There you
And
go.
it was really like that. It's like let's take it for a test drive because we don't have time to waste. Like if it's not going to work in the bedroom, then why waste time? So
Totally,
so it
totally
did
get you.
work. It did work.
Good. And it's been like not a straight road, but but you guys, what makes you hang in there?
Oh, that's a deep question. I don't know if we have time for
Thank
that.
you.
No, what makes me hang in there? Because He's the best person I could imagine to be with for who I am. And we can tolerate each other's deficiencies, and we can amplify each other's good parts.
Perfect. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, since I'm not in a relationship,
No.
and haven't been in a while, I was in a long-term relationship for like 8 years, and with the father of my child and all that sort of stuff. I do know that there are ups and downs. But the one thing that I can say that I don't want to go through again, if it ever happens for me.
Oh, it will, darling. You look beautiful in your Zoom light.
Is I don't like, because with my child's father, we didn't fight a lot. And I think that that's an important element to a relationship. Not fighting all the time, but being able to, and I guess fight is maybe the wrong word, but have air your grievances
Right.
in a way that you're, nobody feels resentful, and that you do feel like you're being heard. I think, and to leave the other person alone when they're really super fucking pissed off. That's also important. So on that note,
Harvey taught me how to argue. He really did. Like I being raised in a British home, I had no idea what arguing was, because basically anything that caused emotion was silenced. So
right.
But
and he's a lawyer, and he's a lawyer too, and he's also Jewish, right? Yeah. So it's like, I think, and it's probably like a totally broad stroke statement, but from what I know from Seinfeld is that you that you say what you're feeling, and then you just deal with it from there.
Right. It's culturally, it's a tradition. They learn to argue in school, like debate. They learn, right. It's part of the Jewish education.
Yeah.
Part of it. So, and Harvey's got that down. He really does.
Okay. Germans, not such great debaters. Dominators, yeah. So let's move on to our very first couple, because we have two couples who've been together for one couple has been together way longer than the other, but the other has been together for a significant amount of time as well. So, and they're
getting married. The second couple is actually engaged, which is exciting, because who does that anymore?
Put a ring on it.
Great.
So I'll throw it over to you, Jen, if you're actually on that side of me, to do the intros.
Okay, so our first couple is our Rosemary Rowe and Kate Turgovac, and they are a married couple who live in Vancouver. They own a boutique digital marketing agency together. They work from home in the same damn room, and in their free time, they write screenplays together. Their production company is called Relentless Proximity, because the proximity is relentless. Here they are. Give it up for Rosemary and Kate.
Hey! Hello. Hi.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having us.
Now, how long have you guys been together?
Since 2003. So 17 years this year.
Yes, just over.
Holy shit.
That's right. We had our first meetup anniversary in July.
So not like Jen, not your anniversary.
No, that was not our skronking anniversary.
No, that was July 8th.
That's right. This was July 6th.
Yeah.
July 6th?
Yeah.
So your sex anniversary is before your meetup? What?
No, 2 days after.
2 days after.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a reasonable amount of time.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Sounds about like the same with you and Harvey. Hey, Jen, like pretty quickly after. You also had your first anniversary.
But if you go to an ecstasy-infused rave, like what are you going to do? Go to Denny's?
Right. Have to.
No, you go home and you get it on. I mean, that's science.
That's right.
Yeah.
And drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
And so do you guys have a song that's like your song kind of thing?
We have a song that we all danced to at our wedding, which is Barrett's Privateers.
What?
Barrett's Privateers. How's it go?
Oh, the year was 1779. I wish I wasn't sure now. That one?
Is it
Yeah.
like this? Is it like a shanty kind of?
Yes, it's like
It
a
is like
sea
a
shanty.
What could be
Super hot.
better?
Totally makes it's just a panty dropper, and we love it.
Absolutely.
You know, I have to say that just to share a little bit here, my our song with my ex was Black Hole Sun. So it's just like, well, that has so many connotations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Black hole sun won't come. It's like, oh my God.
But what do you even do with that other than like dig a ditch or
You
clean out
fuck.
the car?
Yeah.
You just fuck to
Yeah.
Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Give me a second.
I remember what ours was. Ours was Fatboy Slim. I want to praise you like I should. I think.
Good one.
Nice,
That's
yeah.
it's a good rave song too. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And
Nice.
so now you guys, have you always been like once you got together and you, how soon did you move in together after that?
July 8th. We met. So we met online, and but we physically couldn't physically meet in person
Right.
for like 6 weeks. So when we did finally meet, July 6th was our first date, and then I had to go do a fringe show right after. And then on the 8th, I basically moved in. I basically didn't leave your house after that. I stayed over on the 8th,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, you went home a couple
I
times.
went home a couple times.
And then,
And then the blackout happened in Toronto.
remember the big 2003 blackout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kate lived down by the water and the financial area where they got their power back pretty fast. And I lived, in this slum apartment up at Christie Pitts. And so they didn't turn that fucking power on for days, pardon my French. So I went and lived with Kate, and that week we bought a condo together. So about 6 weeks after we met in person, we bought a condominium.
Yes. Now, to be fair, I was actually already looking for a condo. So, I mean, let's keep those lesbian stereotypes in check.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say you're right in the pocket of the cliche, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Full on call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was already looking for a condo at the time we met. And I thought, well, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, why not? Just in case this works out.
Yeah. One could be an office,
That's
right?
And it was. Yeah.
So you bought a place in Toronto or you bought a place out here?
In Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. And then you guys were in Edmonton?
No, I'm from Edmonton.
Okay.
So no, we were Toronto, and then we moved here, in 2006, I guess.
That's right. We're very new to Vancouver.
Yeah, we always say we're new to Vancouver. It's like we lived in Vancouver longer than we lived in Toronto.
Yeah.
So did you manage to get a condo here?
Finally, yeah.
Finally, after 4 or 5 years here, we sold the one in Toronto at what we thought was a good profit.
Yeah.
And then we realized that was not true for Vancouver.
We didn't
So-
do any research
Oh my
before we
God.
left. And I remember looking online, I'm like, oh, maybe we'll spend like a little more. And I was looking in the $350 range for a 2-bedroom, and there wasn't anything. And I didn't think it's more expensive. I thought, I guess there's just no real estate.
Ah.
Wow. Little did you know.
Yeah.
We learned that lesson pretty
Yeah. Yeah. That was
So how big is your apartment now, dare I ask?
It's 1,400 square feet.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's two good sized bedrooms and then a nook,
Yeah.
which they say is the 3rd bedroom, but isn't
It's
because
like
it
the
doesn't.
size of my ass. It's not a room.
No, you can put a single bed in there and
Little.
with no closet.
Airbnb your ass. That's all I have to say.
So can I ask now, what was it that drew you to one another?
Mhm.
Yes. Well,
Me.
Rosemary.
It was me. We met online, and
Back in the dial-up days, right?
yeah, it was old school, Jen.
Not that old.
Like, well, it was for me. Kate had like real internet in her house. I had a roommate, and I used her computer. I didn't even have my own internet on my own computer. And I was looking at the personals one night, and I was looking. It was the kind of thing where you could look at like 8 personals before you had to pay to join the personals. This is
Oh, I see.
Oh,
old
okay.
school back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kate was the 8th personal I read. And the first question in the profile was, what's the last great book you read? And she wrote, I don't know why, but for some reason, every summer, I need to reread Microsurfs,
But Douglas Copeland.
by Douglas Copeland. Very
You need to
geeky.
reread what? Sorry?
Microsurfs by Douglas Copeland, this great novel by Douglas Copeland. And I loved microsurfs. I was like, oh. And I kept reading her profile, and I was in the dark by myself because my roommate was out of town. And I started like shaking. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. Shit. What am I going to do? So I paid $25 American to join this website so I could send her a message and try to convince her to give me a shot.
Yes.
An investment.
Wow.
It wasn't worth the best 25 American I ever spent, for sure.
Kate, what about you?
Well, I had to be convinced. So I had signed up for the online dating site. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship the October prior. And so finally felt ready to start trying to date again. And I had signed up, and I had a pretty specific age range in mind. I wanted someone, I was in my mid-30s, and I wanted someone also in their mid-30s. I didn't want some young folk to, because I'd learned a lot of lessons, and I thought nobody in their 20s surely could have learned these lessons that I have mastered. And so at the time, Rosemary was 28. That's right. And when she contacted me, I was like, I don't know.
I'm like, age is just a number.
Yeah.
Kate, now Rosemary was the first woman that you had dated. Is that correct?
Well, yes, I had been on a date with another woman, but she liked to run marathons. And I found that out in her profile, and I said, I'm not really a marathon runner. She's like, that's fine. It's okay. And so I showed up at the Starbucks, and I think she almost was one of those people that like was going to walk in, saw me there, and walk right out. But to her credit, she came over and talked to me because I am clearly not a person who runs marathons. And that was that great experience. So so Rosemary is technically the second woman I dated.
Oh.
But you know, if the first one actually counted as a date.
And now, were either of you married, like in a heterosexual relationship beforehand?
Kate?
Kate was.
It was.
I got married when I was in grad school. I don't want to call it a green card marriage because you don't have green cards in Canada. But I was married to my grad student advisor for 3.5 years. Back when I was in my super early 20s. So.
Wow.
But you got through grad school.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I dropped out. I didn't get out of grad school. I dropped out.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So now, if you were, sorry, you dropped out of grad school?
I did.
Oh, well, whatever, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Canada. That's the
right.
important thing.
So I got to stay in Canada. So.
Yeah.
So now, if you were to say to anybody, like another couple, because you've been together for a long time now, what's one piece of advice that you would say to somebody to say, hey, you know what, this is possible, but you gotta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think I know what it is. I think you have to remember that you're on the same team.
Right.
So when you're having an argument, when you're having a disagreement, when you maybe are feeling a bit vulnerable and perceive that like a short answer from your partner was like directed at you in all malice, and turns out they were just doing something else and just only had time to say no. You have to remember that you're on the same team and that they're not doing something to get you.
Right.
Because that helps me anyway, manage my own emotions around situations.
Yeah. That's
Good
really
advice.
important.
Yeah, good advice.
I think that's it. We always, the basic is always like, I'm leaving you is off the table. So, and everything else is on. So let's figure it out together.
But I mean, have you ever tried to escape, like if you had the fight in the car where you let me off at the corner?
We certainly fought in the car.
Car is a brutal battleground.
It really is. It's rough. It's rough in the car. But no one's ever been let out of the car in the middle of a fight. No.
I've gone out to the car.
Yeah.
In the middle of a fight.
Yeah. And
I was a serial getter out of the car.
Yeah.
Until a policeman stopped me one day.
Oh wow.
He just went off on me.
Oh.
It's like, what do you think you're doing? I'm standing up for myself. And he gave me like a $250 ticket.
Oh no.
Wow.
No, we haven't done
Lean on that, sister.
Yeah, I know. It was a good lesson.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
So So why don't we bring on our next couple, because
Okay.
they're sort of like in your world, Kate and Rosemary, they're sort of a third of the way into their relationship, even though they're now engaged, right? So, we've gotten some sage advice, and I'd love to hear where they're at now. So,
Absolutely.
Jen, I'll again throw it over to you to
Okay.
introduce these guys.
So our next glorious couple is Nyla Carpentier and her fiance, who might be lurking in the background or on camera, Matt Bedard. And Nyla, I've known Nyla for quite a long time. She is Tahitan, Kaska, French and Scottish, a multifaceted performing artist currently residing in North Vancouver. She's a poet, powwow dancer, and a workshop facilitator, and she's a wicked beater. So Nyla's got some beads around that she can probably show us.
Nice.
And Matt,
There's Matt.
skilled
Hi, Matt.
carpenter,
Hi.
he has the best Buddy Holly glasses ever.
He does.
So guys,
Hello.
when did you actually get together? I think I was at Margot's birthday. It was around the time that you first met.
Well, we our first date was on October 25th, 2017.
Okay.
We met in a very traditional form called Tinder.
Oh, no way.
Yup. Way. So we were we were both on Tinder, and I was just when we were backstage there, I was asking him like, yeah, that was the third time I was on Tinder trying it out. I'm like, why didn't I meet you before? The first two times. He's like, well, I didn't get on there until 2017. I was like, oh yeah, no, that would do it. That would do it. That would be why. That's why
I saw you guys. It must have been 2018.
Yeah.
And you brought him to Margot's birthday.
I did.
And he was like, this is Matt.
Yes, this is Matt.
And I knew he was like a keeper the minute I saw him.
Aw.
I did.
That's what a lot of people keep telling me. And I'm like,
I know.
I agree. I agree.
And why did you think that, Jen? Like, what was it about Matt that you thought, oh, this guy's a keeper?
Because they're both, well, you guys are both really adorable. There's a sweet heartedness, and Matt looked worthy of Nyla.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
No, I'll agree with that. We're both worthy.
So
now-
what was it that sparked your attraction?
Okay, so I I was working in Blythe Theater Festival in the summer of 2017, and I had done a lot of relationship soul searching because I had found that I was dating really wrong people or getting involved with wrong people, and I had to kind of get real with myself and what I wanted, which was, coming to a conclusion like, you know what, I'm actually the monogamous type. I want to find my eagle to settle down with. And so when I saw his profile on Tinder, it was really great because it was super short. It was like tall. I'm like, okay, check. Likes music. Awesome. Sarcastic. I can work with that. And then he wrote, not my kid, because in one of his profile pictures, he had a picture of him and his niece in his vehicle. So I was like, sweet. And bonus, he happened to be Indigenous. So I was like, not only is he got pictures of him and his pets, he's tall, which is great because I'm 5'10". And I've dated my fair share of drunk short people.
Oh God.
Oh God. Like you know what? No thanks. And so like it was just his profile was really appealing. So I definitely swiped right. Right? Is that it? Swipe right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That looks scared or bored. I don't know what's quite happening over there, but it's both.
So I swiped.
It's a bit of both.
Then, yeah. And then he also liked me back. And so I'm very impatient. And I messaged him. And then I think like after one day after being matched up, on a Monday, I asked him out to go to the ghost train with me on the Wednesday. Because I was like, I need someone to go to the ghost train. I don't have time because I'm co-directing a show, Ridiculous Darkness. And I'm also, I think it was like 35 at the time. I can't even do math. I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm in my mid 30s now. I've wasted so much time. I don't have time to mess around. And a lot of,
How many people? There were like 70 people in Ridiculous Darkness.
Yeah, about that.
A cast of about 70.
Yeah.
People would wander in and they'd be in the show, right?
Yeah. And it was Matt's first theater show he ever saw.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of people to keep up with.
Yeah. So yeah, and he agreed. That's what kind of shocked me, though, was the fact that Matt agreed. Like, because most of my experiences up to that point with Tinder was that anytime I asked somebody out on a date, they'd be like, "Oh, we're going on a date? Oh, I don't know," except for like one other person. So Matt was actually the fourth person to agree to go on a date with me. The first two bailed, and the third was like, "Yeah, you're more like a friend."
Oh, wow.
I don't know. You guys just deserve awards for online dating. Like, I'm really the scratch and sniff kind. Like, I have to know what a person smells like. I cannot invest unless I get a sense of their body odor. Like, there's no way.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I did get to know his body odor as I sat like this close to him on the ghost train. I was like, "Yeah, he smells good."
Now let's see the ring. Let's see the ring, the bling bling ring.
Okay, I'm gonna get Matt to hold the camera. This is the ring. I also will give Matt credit. I've been previously engaged before, and Matt was the first person to actually give the ring.
Oh,
With the engagement. So,
Nice.
and he even called my dad to tell him that he was going to ask for my hand in marriage.
I love
So-
that.
Nice.
I love
That's
that you guys
fabulous.
are actually getting married. Like, it just seems like, oh my God, like we're in COVID and Trump is president and oh my God, and you're actually getting married. Like, it's like, this is a leap of faith. It's a
Yeah.
commitment.
Yeah.
And when's the
engagement-
date?
Oh, so COVID. We started our 2020 like on New Year's Eve. During the countdown is when Matt proposed.
Oh,
Nice.
when we all thought it was
It's
going to
so
be
bad.
okay. Remember
So we-
that?
Yeah, it was great. We partied. Like, we were at my friend's place at their old apartment that was going to be demolished in like 6 months. And like, we were giving her, there was burlesque dancers, there was DJs, family members, and Matt, proposed at the countdown. And so we thought it was going to be amazing. And we're like, okay, so we're going to let's plan. And we set the date for May long weekend 2021. But now with COVID, we're kind of like, because our families are big. Like, he's Haida and Shimshian. Right. And I'm Tahltan and Casca and French and Scottish. And like on my mom's side of the family, she has like a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. The same with it. Like, we just have big families.
Right.
And when we did our initial wedding list, our wedding list with just family members was like 120 people.
Wow.
So where would you do the ceremony?
Well, originally we were thinking looking either outdoors or at one point we were thinking ghost train, the ghost train area.
Would you do it here, like the Queen
Yeah,
Charlotte?
here. It was going to be in the Lower Mainland. Like, we were going to, because our first day was at the ghost train, but then we saw how much it would cost to do an outdoor wedding at Stanley Park. We're like, no.
And oh my God, 150 people on the ghost train. You'd have to have extensions, right?
Really?
It would be like more in the front area.
I think you should do it on the Sky Train.
The SkyTrain never really had an appeal. But we're actually in the Lower Mainland, so we were looking at venues like Chief Joe Mathias Center, and we were looking at potentially somewhere in the lower, like in North Vancouver, maybe there's this beautiful church in like Lynn Valley Lynn Valley over there. It has it's a United Church, and so it has a really cool maze on the floor. So it's like things like that.
Matt,
Yeah.
Matt, you need to speak so that we know that you're not dead.
I'll try chime in every once in a while.
We just need to know what it was in your heart that drew you to Nyla.
It's her. Well, her and I are totally opposites. Like, I don't know. You've obviously noticed I'm quiet, and she is the opposite of quiet. And she was willing to look past that and help me, express myself a bit more. Right? Because I mean, like I was on Tinder. I met like 7 girls before her, and it was kind of hard to, establish a connection with them because I'm quiet, awkward, and I can get inside my head really easily like that. And Nyla could just plow right through that, just steamroll right past it, and drag me along with her. Where they're like,
Nyla just reaches in through your eyeballs and pulls you back out. Come on.
So the budgie, tell me about the budgie, because budgies talk, like they're little talky animals. So was that part of the talking inspiration? Like get mad at budgies, we'll have to talk to it.
Well, I had the budgie before I met Nyla. Nyla's inherited all my animals.
Yep, I've become the step fur baby mom. That's how it rolls. Now they're mine.
Right. Now, hey, listen, guys. You, Nyla and Matt, do you guys have a piece of paper and a Sharpie or a pen around?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay. Perfect. Because I think it's time that we kind of head into this this other area here.
I just want to do a little shout out to Cora the budgie.
Cora the budgie.
Who went to the bird hospital and came out.
Yes.
And which bird hospital did you take her to?
Night Owl Bird Hospital. Here's a
Dr. Let's see, Nyla, or let's see, Cora.
Cora, oh dear.
Cutie.
Is Cora yellow?
Yeah, Cora's yellow. I'm trying to see if I can. Yellow and green. And Cora was actually named after Tron, the second Tron film. The character that Olivia Wilde plays.
Oh wow!
Look at how pretty.
There's Cora.
Oh.
Cora.
Yeah. And
Cora.
the poops have gone normal, and the appetite is back. And
Just like Harvey.
yeah, just and also really humping its bells and toys and everything.
Yep. So did you see Dr. What's Her Nuts from Dr. With the gray hair and the thing?
Yes, there was a gray-haired lady who talked. We had two doctors, one that talked very quietly and one that talked very slow. I can't remember which one was which, but they're both pleasant. They're both very pleasant.
I've had both, and they're really great. They're really great people there. So if anybody out there has a budgie, go to Night Owl Bird Hospital.
Yeah, Night Owl Bird Hospital. And like, I will say, we had to fundraise for the medical bills because animal medical bills are no joke.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Very true.
Wow.
True.
And you think, like a little thing like that, you get so attached, and you just have this total sense of responsibility, right, for them. And it's expensive. But the people who provide the services too are like they're doctors. They went to school. They got to pay their bills, right?
It's a hard thing to be a bird doctor. That's a tiny thing to be working on.
And
Yes.
like, I think, Matt, you made a good point too. You want to share your point when you said when we got our first bill about how you felt that, at least we, even though we're paying this much or we're having to fundraise, at least we try.
Yeah, well, like I felt he was showing like signs of sickness for a day before, and it felt horrible. I felt like I was watching him slowly pass away. And then after paying for the first payment, which was I had to pay about $500. I felt like I did everything I could now to try to help him.
So you just called Cora a him, and Nyla called Cora a she. And when we first asked about Cora before we were on the air, Cora was a they. So Cora
or
is
him,
non-binary, right?
we've sort of adjusting because when Matt first got Cora, it was a female. I
thought it was female.
Thought it was female, and then I forget which doctor said, but was like, no, on those X-rays, like Cora's got a pair of balls on them. Like they're right there. They're there. They're big balls.
Budgie balls.
Oh, okay, yeah. Birdie balls. Got it.
Birdie balls.
The humping of the bell.
Oh God, it's relentless. Ding, 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 ding.
But you did say that that budgies can change.
They can. Yeah. Apparently, that's what the doctor told us, that budgies can change their sex. So even though we thought because of Cora's nose that may be female, it's actually male. So I've been using they them pronouns for Cora. And Matt's been adjusting to him, he pronouns, and so we're kind of going between the two.
It's hilarious. And for those of you who don't know, the sear, which is that waxy part on top of the budgie's nose, if it's a boy, it goes blue. And if it's a girl, it stays either fleshy or pink, which is
So it's
kind
pink.
of traditional.
Yeah,
It's pink.
it's
The
pink.
Well,
so now, but Cora's got balls.
I believe you got a girl on your hands. A
Not
masturbating girl.
You have an intersex budgie.
Intersex
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah, that's
Okay.
real. That's a very real.
So now both you guys, so you've got I've asked Kate and Rosemary, you have your Sharpie and your paper handy. We're going to do a little quick newlywed game, but it's basically about couples. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask one person from the couple a question, and the other person from the couple is going to say what the real answer is. So if I was to ask Nyla, where did you meet Matt, right? And you would write Tinder, and Matt would say, no, it was actually at the Dairy Queen, so that kind of thing, right? So we'll ask, so Matt, so whoever we're not asking the question to knows the real answer, okay? And then we'll switch. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's start with Jen. Who would you like to start with here?
Oh, well,
which of
maybe
the
Kate
couple?
and Rosemary, because they've
Yeah,
been
Kate
sitting
and Rose,
here.
by the way, your advice is awesome. Like, I was taking notes
Oh.
when you were sharing that, and then Matt was like, yeah, it's you. What did you say, Matt?
It says you. It's not you versus me. It's you and me versus the problem.
Right.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like,
Very succinct,
Everyone-
Alex.
Yeah.
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 You and me
the
versus
team.
the budgie.
Our dog is back from her walk.
Yeah.
And I also like it's not you versus me, but it's like leaving is not on the table.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I like that too, because it's so easy to go, fuck you, I'm out, right? And then it's just like, "Ugh." But if leaving is not on the table, then that's fantastic. So let's start with, so we're gonna do both. So we're gonna start with Rosemary and Kate, right? So I'm thinking that we should ask both couples the same question. Why don't we do one, Kate. So we're going to do Kate from Rosemary and Kate, and we're going to do Nyla from Nyla and Matt. Here's the question, okay?
Now, are we writing down or are we just thinking of the answer?
You're writing down. You're going to
So
write
I'm
it
writing
down.
down.
So Nyla's writing down, Kate's writing down, and Matt and Rosemary know this is way too fucking complicated.
We know the truth, Matt.
Okay, you know the truth. Yeah, Matt and Rosemary know the truth. So, or know what their answer would be. So, Nyla and Kate, what do you think Rosemary or Matt would, what would be the first thing they would buy you if they won the lottery?
Mm.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's a good question.
Da 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 dee,
Got it?
da, 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 da. Okay, time's up.
No, I'm still writing.
Still writing. Okay.
Okay. You're not gonna be able to read this, but okay.
Okay. So, Kate, what do you think the first thing that Rosemary would want you to buy her if
Oh, no,
you won
The
the
other
lottery?
way around.
Oh, no.
Christine,
Other way around. Okay.
you're gonna ask me because she's already written her answer down.
Okay. Then thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. Hang on. Let me have another sip of wine.
All right,
Okay.
drink up.
So, okay. So the answer for Kate and Rosemary would be, Rosemary, what do you think Kate would buy you?
What would I buy her? That was the question, right?
Yeah, so I wrote down, I
This
thought
is-
Rosemary would buy me if she
Yeah.
I
won the
might
lottery.
only be able to do one.
Okay. All right.
question.
Let's do that. Let's do that then. What's the answer? First of all, let's see Kate's answer, and then we'll see what Rosemary thought.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my earmuffs on. I can't hear anything.
Okay, it's gonna show up backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't read that shit.
Can't read
Oh no,
Something-
it's not backwards. It's great. Okay.
Game related.
Okay. Now let me just say, Kate, This is if you won the fucking lottery, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
Oh,
Rosemary,
I just
what
thought
do you
something
think
else that
it
you
would
might
be?
get me.
He's already won the lottery.
All right.
Oh.
Oh.
Go over.
I would, she's really into board games, like insanely into board games. I would buy her a board game store, or we would get a new giant house with a huge games room so she could put all her board games and be able to see them all instead of digging around for them in the shelves. That's what I would be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see the answer. Let's see the answer. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yay.
All right.
Okay. So now over to Nyla and Matt. Same question, however you want to work it out.
Look away, dear. Look away.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the password is, but okay. So now, Matt. Okay. So now, what do you think?
There'd be a bunch of stuff I'd buy her. I mean, it'd be like all the Funko Pops that she's ever wanted.
Who's that?
Like plane tickets to go to all the powwows everywhere.
Right.
Oh my God.
And then,
I thought it, but I didn't write that. Sorry.
a house as well, maybe, or maybe buy her a car so she could finally get her license.
Okay, let's see your answer.
A house or condo or rare Funkos.
Oh.
Nice.
So
Amazing. What are Funkos? Yeah.
we have a small collection of Funko Pops. They're these mini vinyl
We have some Funko Pops.
bobbleheads. And by small collection, I mean that Matt built shelves to house them all on our.
Oh yeah, there's their collection.
Oh wow.
Wow. Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
You
Our
see,
Funko
you know. Nice. Yeah, we've got like a whole Captain America. We got a lot.
Oh, my Hello Kitty one too.
That's right.
You have Funko Pops too?
Yeah. All the cool kids have Funko Pops.
Yeah, Christine, give
Come
us a
on,
program.
Christine.
So
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
that
Oh, and I'll show
that
you.
Funkos together stays together.
That's right.
Matt made this Funko
Oh.
and it's me in my regalia.
Oh.
So he made it for me for my.
Amazing.
He made it for me for our anniversary originally, and then
Oh.
yeah. So
Oh.
he made it originally for our anniversary, but then he gave it to me on Valentine's Day because it took forever to finish. So
That's amazing. That's great.
I love it.
Woo! Well, you guys did really, really, really well, and I think now, kind of keeping in that same vein of Matt making you the Funko Pop, we have our next guest is someone who's totally into crafting, and again, I'm going to hand it over to Jen,
Right.
because Jen knows more about this fantastic person than I do. But so everyone, stay where you are, and we're going to bring on someone new.
Yes. Deborah DeMille is doing our segment Look What I Made, and Deborah has also been in a very long-term relationship with the lovely and talented Pete Lacroix, and she's a mom and an actor and an activist and a heavy-duty crafter, and she redid this whole trailer named Fanny, and she's going to show us the trailer.
nice.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi,
how are you?
So Deborah, you're outside your house now, right?
I am. I'm in my backyard in East Van.
Nice.
And
It's a
so
beautiful day.
it is. So Fanny is also parked in the backyard.
Yes, Fanny lives in the backyard. I'm going to show you Fanny in a second, unless I take her out for camping, of course.
Right. So
So I'm
when
gonna
did
just
you
turn-
acquire Fanny?
About 3 years ago. And then my younger brother came over from Comox, and he's a mechanic and a great carpenter, but he really is a mechanic. He's the guy I needed to get this old camper up and running. He did so much work because when I got Fanny, I got her off of Craigslist from a fella in Surrey, and they'd basically been using it as like a hunting camper. And it was in pretty rough shape because they didn't really tarp her enough, and these old campers can get a lot of water damage, and that's what happened. So we had to fix her up.
Right. And
Let's see Fanny.
let's
My Fanny.
I want to see your Fanny.
Okay, I'm going to turn
remind
the
me,
camera around just a sec. Sorry, what's that?
Deborah, just remind me, when did you acquire Pete?
Oh,
That was
when
like,
did I acquire Pete?
that was the 90s.
Well, Pete and I actually started. I'm just going to show you my beautiful willow tree while I'm talking to you. Pete and I actually started our relationship in UVic back in the 80s.
Okay.
And then we split up for many years. And then I moved all over San Francisco, Toronto. And I came back to BC and we got together and we've been together ever since, like the late 90s.
We did that shitty play.
Yeah, after we did that, hang on, turn it around again so you can see my reaction. We did the all-female American Buffalo for the Fringe.
Right.
And went to Edmonton. Oh my gosh.
It actually wasn't shitty, but
It was a great production.
But after that experience, you're like, God, I got to get married.
Yeah, well, I knew that I wanted to have a family, and Pete and I had all this history. And when we got back together after, I don't know, almost 20 years, it just felt right. And we had a son, 18, we went halves on a kid 18 years ago, and his name is Dashel. And we actually, Pete's best friend was Keith Provost, who passed away shortly after we did The Women, the play The Women, and we named him Dashel Keith Lacroix.
Oh.
Yeah, for all those people who knew and loved Keith Provost.
Okay, let's see Fanny.
Okay, here we go. Turning my camera around. Okay, so Fanny Camper lives in my backyard. I made these little stepping stones because I have 2 Cocker Spaniels and I need to avoid, droppings. Anyway, she is a 1972 South Park camper, which was actually originally made in Calgary on Crowchild Trail. And the original logo was these 2 kind of the coloring, because it was really flesh color and orange and pale brown from the 70s, and named her Fanny because it started off with my son and I wanting to fix his camper up to go camping, and he's a huge Ty Segall fan. Met him actually, saw him in concert, and he has a great song about his dog named Fanny. So that's where we got the name from. I know it has different connotations in different countries, but here it's my Fanny. And whenever I take off camping, I go, oh, my Fanny follows me wherever I go. So imagine what a horrible color she was. And then we painted her all up.
Right.
And I got this amazing paint.
Wow.
I did my research and loved the colors, yellow and blue. They were kind of retro, not quite 70s. I went back and then you can see.
I think you need to go inside your fanny. Go to reception. Where's Deborah? We lost her.
She's probably gonna show up like right inside the thing and then go, didn't you love that? And then it'll be the end.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen with that.
Well, I hope we didn't lose her.
Wait, here's
We'll see. Oh, here. Oh,
There she is.
There's
are you still there?
Yes, we're here.
See these crazy old lanterns? They kind of look like Pac-Mans, but they're from the 70s, these old lanterns that I got from a lady off of a group that's called Tin Can Tourists. Christine Slater Boardman from Texas sent me like 3 sets of these from Texas.
Wow.
Just so I could have it for my family. Okay, now we're going inside.
Woohoo!
Here we
Yay!
are. Inside Fanny.
The color is so pretty.
yeah.
There you are.
Great. And I love the color. It's almost like that.
So out of the camera and when the front.
It's almost like that 1950s swimming pool color, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 1972, I kind of wanted to go a bit more retro with the colors. So this was all of the wood that you see here was wood paneling that was all like pale brown. The cupboards, everything was dark brown, like very 70s. So my brother started by unpeeling the tin on the outside and fixing the 2 front corners. Hang on, somebody's sending me a message.
Last week my phone rang and it was like on the computer, it's just like I'm like, oh my God, how do I stop this thing? So I'm totally getting the Deborah
We'd just like to say that our guests volunteer their time and their business lives take priority. So,
Like for me, it's always been a dream of mine to own a camper to travel to different powwows across Canada. So like Deborah, seeing your refurbished camper, I'm like, Matt's a cabinet maker. We could do this. We could, we could
100%.
refurbish a camper and travel. And then he can play video games and during the boring parts while I'm socializing.
but Deborah really needs, because Deborah is so, immersed in crafting, she really needs to get a look at your beading. Your fantastic work.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can just go over to East Van and find her in the trailer. I think we might have lost Deborah.
We might have lost Deborah. So where are we at? Well, we're really close to, kind of wrapping things up anyway, right? So why don't we do that? Although, do I hear the ghost of Deborah? we'll have to have Deborah back. Oh, Bobby! Oh my God, Nelson, come here.
Don't eat the bird.
Cora tries to groom him, and it doesn't work.
Okay. Cats and birds, and as long as the bird is dominant, you're all good, right?
Oh, Deborah's back.
Hey,
Deborah.
I'm back.
Deborah's gonna just keep coming back week after week. Look at that.
I'm leaving my house now because I went back inside to see if I was closer to the router, I'd have a better connection.
Well, Deborah, I thought that was the inside of your fucking trailer. I thought that's amazing.
Me too. Yeah.
Deborah, so we're gonna have you back because we're close to the end
going
now,
back.
and you have so much to show us.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because we really want to take our time and see your stuff.
So sorry. I'm so sorry it didn't work out better, girls.
No, it worked out great, just in little bits, in dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. And Nyla wants a trailer now for sure.
Love it. Yeah.
Aw, I'm so sorry it didn't work out better.
Well, we're going to get Rosemary and Kate to hop into a trailer as well. What do you think about that, ladies?
No.
Oh God, we hate you so much, but that trailer is beautiful.
The trailer's amazing.
Yeah.
Camping.
Love that.
Trailer, no.
Thank you so much.
All the way.
Hey, can I
We're
just
hotel
quickly
lesbians.
show you? There's a
You're-
little bag.
You're totally, you sound like a chipmunk. No. It's like, so Deborah, trust us. We're going to have you back. Okay.
We love you. We love your trailer. But you guys, I cried. I laughed. I mean, I cried in this show because of your beautiful selves. And that, wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We look forward to next week and to Deborah, and thank you for your time, and just really lovely stories.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you so
Stay
much.
tuned next week
Nyla,
for
Matt,
more
great
Crying
meeting
Out
you.
Loud.
Yeah, Kate and Rose, good to meet you and hear your experience. It's awesome.
Yeah, congrats on your
Yes,
engagement. So
congratulations.
exciting.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.